but I can feel the scent of roses in the air. It's June in January because I'm in love, but only because I'm in love with you.
June in January.
That was a nice one, that.
Very pleasant,
Richard
Alex.
Himber with Joey Nash's vocal.
He's got a pleasant sound, hasn't he,
Very
Richard
much
Himber?
with a vibraphone.
Nice.
I like the vibraphone.
Yes, I do too.
Lionel Hampton and all that
And
sort
I like the xylophone too. Remember in the old-time stage reviews at the Tivoli?
Oh, yes.
The xylophone was well to the fore,
That's
wasn't
right.
it?
And remember Will Mahoney, Evie
Yes,
Hayes' husband?
indeed.
Used to tap
Yes,
dance on it.
Yes. I have an old Tivoli
word.
program of theirs.
Have you?
Yes.
I'd like to see
Yes.
it.
I'll bring it in. I'll show you.
Terrific.
It should be worth a few bob. I might try and sell it to you. You've got plenty of money, Alex.
4 minutes past 8 on Nostalgia Unlimited.
Right.
Alex Hehr here.
And Les Egan over here.
And the phone is running hot, so keep those phone calls coming. We're making a note of each and every one of them to present to the committee management committee on the management committee is meeting on Wednesday evening. And if you'd like to write, it's PO Box 1277 Collingwood. That's 1277 Collingwood 3066. We need the letters in by Tuesday to give them a chance to be opened and sorted on the manager's desk for the meeting.
And can we fax?
You can fax. The station fax number, if you have a fax machine, and being very modern and up to date, 417-4472 is the fax number here, and that would get the time it takes to make a phone call. The fax is here.
And we do want to maintain our time of 7:30.
Well, at best maintain it.
Yes, at best maintain it.
Yeah.
And better still, we'd like to start at 7 o'clock, and
Me
I'm
too.
sure our listeners would too.
7 o'clock start.
Yep. Well, you're a bit of a wildcat there, Alex. Tell me what you've got there.
I've got some hot violin sounds now. The Joe Venuti Trio for Mr. Tobin of Port Melbourne, and this was recorded in New York on June 21st, 1928, and I hope, Mr. Tobin, that you enjoy this one.
And then Ben Selvin and his orchestra with the Knickerbockers, and a catchy little tune for Gladys and Harold. Gladys and Harold just rang, by the way, and they're enjoying the program.
Did they?
And they certainly don't want to go on till midnight with the program. Dick Robinson does the vocal on this one, which was recorded in New York on July the 21st, 1931, and the title is Me.
It is me, and that will be preceded by this one, which is the Wildcat now, Joe Venuti Trio.
Not to him, not to her, not to them, not to those, but to me. Her family, they held a convention. Not for him, not for her, not for them, not for those, but for me. I'm delighted, yes, sir, and I have to laugh. Standing on my dresser is a photograph which proves that she gives all her attention. Not to him, not to her, not to them, not to those, but to me.
All about me.
That's a nice 1931 old-fashioned sound there.
It's a bright one, isn't it? Ben Selvin.
And it's, 10 past 8 on Nostalgia Unlimited?
It's a little bit past that, but 10's easy.
I'm looking forward to themes we remember.
Oh, that's going to be good. 8:30. Yes, in 20 minutes' time.
Couple of nice ones.
Couple of nice ones. We'll keep you in suspense.
We will, and keep the phones ringing. John Ferguson and Maureen are out on the phone.
John's on the phone.
Yes, to take your calls.
He's a switch girl.
He's a switch girl for the moment.
But
he's not very attractive, is he, really? Not like
he's not
Maureen.
my cup of tea. But it is important that you do ring in, and better still write in, but make sure if you go to write in that those letters do get to us by Tuesday. It's imperative that we keep this time slot.
Oh, absolutely.
It is. You're getting too old to get up.
Oh, Alex, it's a big effort. I mean, when you hit 84, it's not easy. Well, what about our first Al Bowley recording for the evening?
I think we'll go right into it.
Well, Al with Ray Noble and his Orc are going to present On the Steamer Coming Over for Charles and Shirley Cooksey. I don't think I've heard this one.
Haven't you?
And this track comes from a session in December 1933.
It does. And then we're going to have the Windmill song. This is Leo Fuld.
So it's the Windmill,
The Windmill song. It's his own composition, which he recorded in 1946 with the Revel Terry Ensemble. And we're playing this number for Edward Everett. Hope you enjoyed this one, Everett. But firstly, here's Al with On a Steamer Coming Over.
On a steamer coming over, life began all anew. A perfect sea, a sunny sky, for there was she and there was I. What could we do? I knew I was a lucky rover. Every day our love grew. Our hopes were high, our hearts were free, and she and I were both at sea. What could we do? Sweet romance seemed to fill the air. It caught us unaware. We kissed one night beneath a yellow moon. And right then and there, we started humming a happy wedding tune. 'Twas on a steamer coming over. We both vowed to be true. A perfect sea, a sunny sky, for there was she and there was I. What could we do?
This is Nostalgia Unlimited with Alex Hehr and Les Egan.
Beside a Zuiderzee, with eyes so light, so blue, so bright, they shine across the sea. Her eyes forever to the sun, a tulip in her hair. And when she is sad, she starts to sing to lovers everywhere. The windmill's turning, my heart is yearning to see you walk with me beside the Zuiderzee. The windmill's turning, my heart is burning, until the day when you will return to me. Daar bij die molen, die mooie molen, daar woont het meisje waar ik zoveel van hou. Daar bij die molen, die mooie molen, daar wil ik wonen als zij eens wordt mijn vrouw. The windmill's turning, my heart is yearning, until the day when you will return to me.
Well, you can take your clogs off now, Alex.
Nice bright one, wasn't it? I felt like getting up and doing a dance.
Yeah, you did.
I hope all our Dutch friends anyway that were listening enjoyed that one.
I hope so. And Fred Morgan enjoyed his waltz. That's good, Fred.
Thank you for calling in, Fred.
Yeah, we played a little while back, and Fred wants us to keep at the same time spot.
Well, that'll assist Fred, I know, because Fred likes it to be early.
They all do. Well now, the street singer Arthur Tracy sings for Leslie of Ferntree Gully, the Hayden Wood composition, Roses of Picardy. This recording comes from May 1939.
And then Kingy rang in a couple of weeks ago and asked for Kahlua, the Jerome Kern song, and it's played and sung tonight by the late Alfred R. Parker with the Don Costa Orchestra.
But first of all,
here is
Arthur Tracy.
She is watching by the poplar, colonnade with a sea blue eye. She is watching and longing and waiting where the long white roadway lies. And a song stirs in the silence as the wind in the boughs above. She listens and starts and trembles. 'Tis the first little song of love. Roses are shining in Picardy in the hush of the silver dew. Roses are flowering in Picardy, but there's never a rose like you. And the roses will die with the summertime, and our roads may be far apart, but there's one rose that dies not in Picardy. 'Tis the rose that I keep in my heart. Roses will die with the summertime, and our roads may be far apart, but there's one rose that dies not in Picardy. 'Tis the rose that I keep in my heart.
It's moonlight in Kahlua. Night like this is divine. It was moonlight in Kahlua when your kisses met mine. Although the rose and jasmine bloom is fair, and love is calling through this scented air, everywhere is lonely in Kahlua, because you are not there. Although the rose and jasmine bloom is fair, and love is calling through the scented air, everywhere it is lonely in Kahlua, because you are not there.
Nice Hawaiian music there. And we have lots of people who appreciate nice Hawaiian music.
Yes, it was very pleasant. The late Alfred Parker.
That's right.
And I think Don Costa's also left us. So
I think so. I think so, Alex. Now, have we time for one more
we'll
before
have one more. And the time is?
The time is 26 minutes past 8.
Frank Gregory presents Swing and Sway every Saturday afternoon on 3CR. Yes, for the brightest and best in swing and sway music, tune to Frank Gregory, Saturday afternoons between 1:30 and 2:30 on 3CR, 8:55 on the dial.
Straight into Sugar. Sugar is coming up.
Sugar will be coming up.
Yep.
But I just wanted to let people know that in 3 minutes' time, we've got...
Themes we remember.
We have indeed, and I'm sure you're going to remember these two themes that I've pulled from the library.
They're beauties.
So we'll have Sugar, and if you can tell us who Sugar's by.
Yes, I'd be delighted to tell you it's by the Hi-Hatters, and the vocal is Chick Bullock, and it's a nice bright one for Percy of Ivanhoe. And this was recorded in New York in September 1931.
Here you are, Percy.
That's why I name you Sugar. I'll come and claim you, Sugar. Don't change your mind, you're not that kind. You're too refined, wait too long, sugar. Don't keep me blue long, sugar. Come drop in my oolong and sweeten the days for me.
Gee, I like that one.
Bright one.
The High Hatters with Leonard Joy directing the orchestra there, and Sugar.
We were tapping our toes.
We were. Eastern Summertime on 3CR Community Radio. It's 8:30. On Nostalgia Unlimited, it's time to remember radio and TV shows of the past with Themes We Remember. All right, boys. Special one for you tonight.
Two special
Two
ones.
specials.
They're beauties too, Alex.
Well, we're going back to 3KZ for the two themes tonight, and the first one I'll let you introduce.
The first one is a well-known piece of music composed by Edward Madden and Percy Wenrich in 1910. Introduced the 3KZ program called A Call from KZ.
Now, I think
I
John Best...
don't think 3KZ were going at 1910.
No, but that's when the song was written. It dates back to that. This particular recording comes...
From the International Novelty Quartet, recorded in London in January 1934 for Eagles Honophone.
And we were talking about this a bit earlier because that International Novelty Quartet's not quite right. Looking at the matrix numbers, and although the Brian Rust Discog doesn't list it, we reckon it's Scott Wood.
Scott
Yes, well,
Wood.
they
yes.
didn't list any of the ones with an accordion.
That's right.
They say that's an accordion band. That's not dance
Which
music.
is stupid because you had such great accordion
Well, you
bands.
take London Piano Accordion Band, Prima
Prima
Scala.
Scala.
There's lots of
Lots
them.
of them. There were heaps of them. They were very popular.
They were.
But anyway, we reckon, and I think we're pretty correct on this, that it's the Scott Wood Orchestra recording for Regal Zonophone
Silver Bell.
in 1934, and it's Silver Bell.
Your voice is ringing my silver bell under
Well, that was our first theme, Alex. From
Don't you love that
a call from KZ. Now,
I
what's
think it's marvellous.
what's our second theme?
Yes, well, this one also deals with 3KZ, and at 7 o'clock they had a major news bulletin. Nowadays, of course, radio has snippets of news on the hour.
Every hour on the hour.
But in those days, it was important. Like 3DB had a 7:45 news, and everyone stopped and listened. 7 o'clock news. Now, KZ's 7 o'clock news was well listened to as well. And the theme for that was called the Death or Glory March. And it's performed by the massed bands, and it was recorded at the Crystal Palace Festival, London, in 1932. And for collectors of numbers, it was issued on HMV 78 12-inch C2496. And for many, many years, this piece of music heralded in the 7 o'clock news on 3KZ. Let's have a listen to the Death or Glory March. Join us again next time when once again we relive memories of old radio and TV shows with Themes We Remember.
Yes, and that was a very nice selection that you made there.
Thank you, John.
Well, I feel
Even I enjoyed it.
I feel we just heard the 9 o'clock news on 3KZ, don't you, John?
No, that was the 8 o'clock news.
Oh, it was the 8 o'clock. Well, you've got some
There's
news.
no such thing as 3KZ.
No, not now. There
What is it,
isn't.
Gold FO 104?
Now it's 104
Something.
FM and then went to gold.
Right.
And what news have you got there, John?
The news is that we have a meeting this week in which it will be finally sorted out whether we are to retain our time slot or whether we're going to move on up to the midnight time slot or what's going to happen. So that we would like our listeners to phone in to Maureen. That number is 4198377 and tell her if you would like to see Nostalgia stay where it is, or would you prefer us to have the midnight time slot?
Yeah. Well, I certainly wouldn't want to be here at midnight.
I certainly wouldn't want to be here at midnight either.
You can phone in on 4198377 or write PO Box 1277 Collingwood with the postcode of 3066, or if you're modern and up to date and you've got a fax machine or available, if you have the availability of one, 417-4472, the fax number. Get those letters in to the manager's desk by Wednesday.
Very important.
It is indeed.
Music, maestro, please.
Well, I'll play something for you.
Good. Chick Henderson and Joe Loss with their August 1938 recording of Music Maestro, please. And we're playing this for Dorothy Barton down there in McKinnon.
We are?
Dorothy might be somewhere near where I live.
You're down that way,
I'm
aren't you?
down that way, yes.
And
What,
then
they got a prison down there?
Oh, yes, John, I have to check in by 12 o'clock tonight. That's why I'm very worried about this change of time. I do not want it.
yeah, they'll be after him with a shotgun and
They
a
might
dog.
throw away the key.
They
Yeah.
probably will. And then Tom Farnan requested the Bartender Polka, which unfortunately I couldn't locate, and I found the Bar Room Polka and the Beer Barrel Polka, so I've opted for the latter, Tom. I hope you enjoy that one, and if we can locate a Bartender Polka, I'll play it for you, but it's certainly not in my library, and I'll check with John anyway, because he's got everything. But firstly, here's Chick Henderson with a lovely song, Music Maestro, please.
Tonight I must forget how much I need her. So, Mr. Leader, play your lilting melodies. Ragtime, jazz time, swing, any old thing to help me ease the pain that solitude can bring. She used to like waltzes, so please don't play a waltz. She danced divinely, and I loved her so. But there I go tonight, I mustn't think of her, no more memories. Swing on, tonight I must forget, music, maestro, please.
barrel. We'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel. We've got the blues on the run. Sing, boom, to-rarrel. Ring out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel, for the gang's all here. Ba-bum-bum-bum. Roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel. We've got the blues on the run. Sing, boom, to-rarrel. Ring out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel, for the gang's all here. Roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel. We've got the blues on the run. Sing, boom, to-rarrel. Ring out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel, for the gang's all here.
You're listening to Nostalgia Unlimited, part of your weekend on Community Radio 3CR.
Certainly part of our weekend, isn't it?
It is. It's become part of everyone's weekend, I think.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, it's 12 minutes to Collector's Corner. And tell me again what we're having on Collector's Corner, Alex.
We're having the first in a series of programs which is called, for want of a better title, If I Had a Talking Picture.
That's a good title.
And we're looking at the evolution of the Hollywood movie musical, the phenomenon which really lasted only a couple of years, from about 29 to 31. And we look at it in the original music of the era with 78s, and it should be a lot of fun.
Lovely. 42nd Street and all that?
Well, that was a little bit later. That was around the 33, 34, 35. But the main thrust of the Hollywood movie musical was over those 3 years, 29, 30, 31.
That was the golden era.
They saw it. That's about saw it out. They sung and danced their way out of
They
popularity.
They did. I think the Warner Brothers Vita movies had just about finished by then.
That's coming up at 9 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock we've got Paul Edwards. So let's listen to what Paul Edwards got to say.
Good.
Hello, Paul Edward here, telling you about our next little look back at the history of Australian radio. He was one of Australia's most unusual radio stars. But unless you can remember back to the 1940s,
He stands, grasping his shears in his thin bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a bare-bellied yo. Glory if he gets her, won't he make the ringer go? Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his bow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied Joe. In the middle of the floor, in his cane-bottomed chair, sits the boss of the board with his eyes everywhere. Notes well each fleece as it comes to the screen, paying strict attention that it's taken off clean. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his bow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is beaten by a bow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied Joe. The tar boy is there and awaiting in demand, with his blackened tar pot in his tarry hand. Sees one old sheep with a cut up on its back. Here is what he's waiting for, it's tar, here Jack. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his bow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is beaten by a bow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied Joe. Shearing is all over, we've all got our chicks. Roll up your swag, boys, we're off on the tracks. The first pub we come to, it's there we'll have a spree, and everyone that comes along, it's come and drink with me. Click those shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his bow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is
him by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied Joe.
Down by the bar, the old shearer stands, grasping his glass in his thin, bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a green-painted keg. Glory, he'll get down on it before he stirs a leg.
Click, go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his bow, and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around, and is beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied Joe.
There we leave him standing, shouting for all hands, whilst all around him every shouter stands. His eyes are on the cask, which now is lowering fast. He works hard, he drinks hard, and goes to hell at last.
Click, go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his bow, and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around, and is beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the bare-bellied Joe.
Well, that's as Aussie as they come, isn't it?
It is as Aussie. It's a traditional song, of course. William Clausen there, the folk singer, and Click Go the Shears.
Nice to hear that.
7.5 minutes to 9. 9 o'clock brings you Collector's Corner.
It sure does. But before Collector's Corner,
We've got time for two, I think.
Two.
Yeah.
Well, what about Tony Pastor and his orchestra with vocal by Tony Pastor and the Clooney sisters? Is this Rosemary?
I think it is, yes. Yes,
sister?
Rosie and her sister.
And this comes with at the request of Jim and Betty Page. You're Adorable. And it's also known as the Alphabet Song. And it was a very big hit for them in 1949.
And then we're going to hear The Three Bells. The Jimmy Brown song is the subtitle. It's for Dick Barker, and it's presented by Les Compagnons de la Chanson. And it's the hit recording from 1952. But firstly...
I must say your French is impeccable there.
Thank you. But firstly, You're Adorable.
You said it.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I love you. M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, love me. A,
you're adorable.
B,
you're so beautiful.
C,
you're a cutie full of charm.
D,
you're a darling and you're exciting and you're a feather in my arms.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
You look good to me.
A,
you're so heavenly.
I,
you're the one I idolize.
J,
we're like Jack and Jill.
K,
you're so kissable.
L,
is the love light in your eyes.
T, H, I, J, K, L,
M, N, O, P. I could go on all day. Q, R, S, T. Alphabetically speaking, you're okay.
U,
made my life complete.
V,
means you're very sweet. W, X, Y, Z.
that's all there is.
It's fun to wander through the alphabet with you, to tell you what you mean to me. You're adorable.
B,
you're so beautiful.
C,
you're a cutie full of charm.
D,
You're a darling and
E,
you're exciting and
F,
you're a feather in my arms.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
You look good to me.
A,
You're so heavenly.
I,
You're the one I idolize.
J,
We're like Jack and Jill.
K,
You're so kissable.
L,
Is the love light in your eyes?
T, H, I, J, K, L,
M, N, O, P. I could go on all day. Q, R, S, T. Alphabetically speaking, you're okay. Made my life complete. Means you're very sweet. W, X, Y, Z.
that's all there is.
It's fun to wander through the alphabet with you, to tell you what you mean to me.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I love you. M-N-O-P-Q-R-S-T-U, love me.
It's fun to wander through the alphabet with you, to tell you what you mean to me.
It's Nostalgia Unlimited with Alex Hehr and Les Egan on Community Radio 3CR.
Among the pine trees have fallen, and there on a sunny morning, little Jimmy Brown was born.
So his parents brought him to the chapel when he was only 1 day old. And the priest blessed the little fellow, welcome Jimmy to the fold. Boom, 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 boom.
All the chapel bells are ringing, if the little ballet song, and the song that they were singing was for baby Jimmy Brown. And the little congregation prayed for guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, let this hour of meditation guide him with eternal love.
There's the village, hidden deep in the valley, beneath the mountains high above. And there, 20 years thereafter, Jimmy Brown and his bride were wed. Boom, 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 boom.
All the chapel bells are ringing, was a great day in his life. But the song that they were singing was for Jimmy and his wife. Then the little congregation prayed for guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, bless all of this celebration, may their lives be filled with love.
From the edge, hidden deep in the valley, one rainy morning, dark and gray, the soul in its way to heaven, Jimmy Brown had passed away. Thank people gathered in the chapel to say farewell to their old friend, whose life had been like a flower burning blue in the air. Boom, 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 boom.
Just a lonely bell was ringing in the little ballet hall. Was farewell that it was singing to our good old Jimmy Brown. Then the little congregation prayed for guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, may his soul find the salvation of thy great eternal
The Jimmy Brown song there from that group. I don't want to go into it again.
You don't want to say it again?
It's almost 9 o'clock on time for Collector's Corner, but just to remind you that if you're enjoying the program, please ring in. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to request, we'd be only too happy to play that for you. And if you want to support us in our endeavours to keep our time slot the same or earlier, whatever, please call in while you're listening to the program Collector's Corner. It is 9 o'clock Eastern Summertime on 3CR.
It is now time for Collector's Corner, presented this evening by Alex Hehr.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to say a few words to you in this most modern and novel manner. Privileged because it's the first living Vitaphone announcement ever made announcing the coming of one of the year's outstanding pictures.
If I Had a Talking Picture, program number 1. Hello, I'm Alex Hehr. This program looks at the movie musical, the all-dancing, all-singing entertainment which revolutionized the film industry. The phenomenon lasted for about 2 years, until the end of 1930 in fact, by which time they had sung and danced their way out of favour. Let's begin our journey then with the song which I believe epitomizes the Hollywood movie musical. The Broadway Melody premiered at Grauman's Chinese Theatre on February the 1st, 1929. Its premiere successfully launching the movie musical. The film starred Anita Page, Bessie Love and Charles King, and was the first film to contain a score which had been conceived and specially written for the screen. Here's another 2 songs now from the Broadway Melody. Firstly, You Were Meant for Me, played by the Broadway Nightlights, and then The Wedding of the Painted Doll with Horace Heidt and his orchestra.
You were meant for me, and I was meant for you. Nature patterned you, and when she was done, you were all the sweet things rolled up in one. You're like a plaintive melody that never lets me free. For I'm content, the angels must have sent you, and they meant you just for me.
The film Lucky Boy, starring George Jessel, lacked a freshness of approach, both in execution and content. Here's George's recording of one of the songs he featured in the movie. My Mother's Eyes was written by L. Wolfe Gilbert and Abel Bayer, two notable composers of the period.
Back in childhood days I can remember loving caresses all showered on me. Mother's eyes would gaze at me so tender. What was their meaning? Now I can see. One bright and guiding light that taught me wrong from right, I found in my mother's eyes. Those baby tales she told, that road all paved with gold, I found in my mother's eyes. Just like a wandering sparrow, one lonely soul, I walk the straight and narrow to reach my goal. God's gift sent from above, one real unselfish love I found in my mother's eyes. And if I were hanged on the highest tree, I know whose tears would come up to me, my mother's. And if I were drowned in the deepest sea, I know whose tears would come down to me, my mother's. For the world may call you failure, and the fates may grind you small, but in the eyes of your mother, you're as big and as great as them all. Just like a wandering sparrow, one lonely soul, I'll walk the straight and narrow to reach my goal. God's gift sent from above, one real unselfish love I found in my mother's eyes.
The fact that Lucky Boy was originally a silent film with dialogue and music sequences did not help matters either, even with a generous helping of songs. Two more of those songs now. Firstly, in My Bouquet of Memories, presented by Ben Selvin and his orchestra, and then Al Jolson with Isham Jones and his orchestra, with California, Here I Come.
the fields. I keep them fresh and fair with lonely tears. I miss you with the dawn. Why must there be a thorn in my bouquet of memories? When the wind freezes, winds are blowing, and the snow is starting to fall, then my eyes turn westward, knowing that's the place that I love best of all. California, I've been blue since I've been away from you. I can't wait till I get going. Even now I'm starting in to call. Oh, California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the sun. Each morning at dawning, birdies sing, and everything a sun kissed. Smith said, don't be late. That's why I can hardly wait. Open up your golden gate, California, here I come.
MGM's Lord Byron of Broadway starred Charles Cayley and Ethelyn Terry. whose complete misuse of the medium, both vocally and physically, resulted in a hasty departure back to Broadway, whence she had come. Victor Arden, Phil Oman and their orchestra, with the vocal by Bert Lauren, and Should I? Lord Byron of Broadway didn't stand a chance at the box office, despite an Arthur Freed, Nacio, Herb Brown score, which included Should I and A Bundle of Old Love Letters, which we hear now, played by the High Hatters, with the vocal of Frank Luther.
kiss each one. And though I'm pretending it's a beautiful play with an unhappy ending, weary and blue, I read them through. They're all I have now of you. Teardrops of mine between every line, just a bundle of old love letters.
A brief look now at our final film in this particular program, the RKO production Syncopation, one of a crop of movies which dealt with the current vogue of backstage musicals. The film starred Barbara Bennett, Bobby Watson, Ian Hunter and Morton Downey. One of the high spots in the movie was the Tin Pan Parade, presented by Fred Waring and his Pennsylvanians. And to close tonight's show, our first program in the series, here are the Troubadours and their version of the Tin Pan Parade. The Tin Pan Parade there, presented by the Troubadours, bringing to a close Program 1 of If I Had a Talking Picture. This is Alex Hehr saying, hope you enjoyed the program and that you can join us next time when it's Program 2. Until then, goodbye to you all.
You have just enjoyed or just missed Collector's Corner, presented by Alex Hehr.
Very entertaining, Alex, and I certainly will be looking forward to Volume 2.
Volume 2, Program 2.
Volume
I'm not
2.
sure whether John's going to play one of those. He might like to do that in his program, but if not, it'll be on our next show, which is the 5th of December, I think.
Well,
so, you'll have to hang on. But we know what's coming up in John's next program.
We certainly do.
And we better tell the people what's coming up next week. Bill's.
Well, Bill has a segment called Round and Round and Round, and we're not too sure.
Maybe it's the turntable song.
A turntable song, or Around the World in 80 Days. We're not too sure, but
I'm pretty positive that I was listening to Bill last week, and I'm sure he said it was Round and Round and Round. So we'll wait and with bated breath to see what that's all about. But Bill, if that's not correct, you might like to give us a call. But I think it was called Round and Round and Round.
But in a fortnight's time.
In a fortnight's time, we've got this for you.
Hello, this is Shirley Morgan, and I'm looking forward to joining John Ferguson on Collector's Corner to reminisce about the great big band era, and in particular, the Russ Morgan Orchestra.
And that may be heard right here on 3CR Collector's Corner at 9 o'clock on Sunday, the 21st of November.
Be listening right here on Community Radio 3CR.
Well, that's one I'm looking forward to.
I won't be missing that one.
I had the pleasure of entertaining Shirley while she was out here a few weeks ago, and she's a very lovely lady.
Delightful person.
And well, she's for her. I mean, she's getting on a little bit, and she was so lucid, and she was talking about the big band era as if it was yesterday, and the days when she was a typist at Brunswick Records, and she'll tell us all in the program when John interviews her. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, so am I.
That's a good coup for John.
And we have a new listener sponsor, by the way.
My word, the phone has been frantic.
Norma Etheridge. Good on you, Norma of Nidri. The phone has been frantic with all our good listeners saying they want our program to stay at 7:30.
Where it is, yeah.
And better still, 7 o'clock.
Well, that'd be nice, because it means we get home earlier.
And that's when our listeners are listening.
That's true. All right, it's 25 minutes to 10 o'clock. It's Eastern Summertime, 3CR, and what have we got, Liz?
We've got not the birth of the blues, but a spell of the blues. And it's Bing Crosby with the Dorsey Brothers Orchestra and their 1929 recording of The Spell of the Blues. And we're playing this especially for our good friend Ted Stanley in Berwick.
And
hello, Ted.
Hi, Ted.
Just thought I'd slip that in.
That's good. And then Brighter Than the Sun, the Carol Gibbons Savoy Hotel Orpheans with Maurice Elwyn on the vocal, and a nice version of the song. They recorded this in London on January the 18th, 1933, so we could play it tonight for Desiree. But firstly,
The Spell of the Blues.